What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Destiny news. We did get a new patch update today in Destiny. If you guys have logged on, then you probably got the little screen to download the new patch. In addition to Iron Banner coming out today, but I'll have a separate video coming out on that. Anyways, guys, patch 1.2.0.2 actually has come out today, and the hotfix notes are on Bungie.net. I'll link those down below so you guys can check those out. The main things they did, they made a couple of changes to change how House of Wolves is working and other things. Now, most of it addresses the treasure key problem. If you guys know, I'm sure you guys know what that is if you've been playing the game. It's basically you have to spend hours grinding those stupid patrol chests in order to get a treasure key, just in order to unlock the loot chest at the end of Prison of Elders, which just takes forever to get your loot if you're running Prison of Elders. They have now changed it so the first time you turn in a fallen bounty each week with Petra over here. I don't have any of these left to do this week, or I would have got one to show you guys. But you know, if you come over to Petra every week, she's got the actually. Oh, okay, so the bounty did reset, so I can actually pick some of these up now. The first one of these that you turn in each week, the first wanted fallen bounty completed, is now going to award you a treasure key, guaranteed according to the patch notes. So you now get one guaranteed key per week per character. So that's a good change. That's definitely something that was needed to make Prison of Elders a little bit more playable. So that's great. They greatly increased the drop rate of treasure keys from the small chest at the end of Prison of Elders. If you guys knew that, you can actually get a key from one of the two smaller chests next to the big chest, but it was a very rare drop. And they've also increased the drop rate of treasure chests from the ether chests, which are the chests that you get in patrol mode when you kill the big major fallen bounties. Now, they have changed it though, so you can no longer farm those. They're only going to be able to be opened one time, and you will not be able to open them again after that. So you can just do it once. There's not going to be any more chest farming, so to speak. You just will have a higher chance at getting those treasure keys, which is interesting. So people will probably be upset that they can't farm anymore. It says ether chests may only be looted once per spawn. They will no longer grant ammo consumables either, so you won't have big stacks of heavy or special ammo. And they will now give you a small amount of Queen's Wrath reputation when you open them up. They'll also drop tokens of flight, identity, and judgment, which I really could care less about because I have so many of these stupid tokens and I can't use it. I've already bought all the class items at rank 1, and I've got enough to buy 9 ships, but he only sells 4, and there's just a whole bunch of these tokens dropping that I really don't need to do anything with. However, they did change it so that you can now take these tokens and apparently dismantle them, which we'll get into here in just a second. Let me go over some of the Prison of Elders stuff. They have increased the drop rate of treasure keys from small chests. Class items will now drop from the level 32, 34, and 35 Prison of Elders. I guess that means drop when you actually complete the actual mission or the actual Prison of Elders. They fixed a bug in which the ship was not dropping under certain circumstances. They fixed a bug in which the Elder Cipher bounty would not be acquired if your bounty inventory was full. And you will now need to defeat Skolas again to receive the Elder Cipher bounty. Damage caused by Quodron's gaze is reduced by 25%. I know a lot of people were having problems with Quodron on the level 34. And the damage multiplier for the Jailbreaker buff has been increased by 100%. So they made some changes there, I guess, to make it a little bit easier for people. Trials of Osiris. They fixed an issue in which Trials of Osiris emblems were not sent to the postmaster if your emblem inventory was full. And they also say that passage coins can now be dismantled. So we're gonna look at that right now and see what that does. You can see here I've got 8 coins. I got a passage I didn't even use last week, and I've still got both the boons because I sat on looking for group for 5 hours on Friday night and could not find a team because I'm only a filthy casual level 32, unfortunately. So this week, gonna grind some Iron Banner, hopefully get some Etheric Light and get up to level 33, 34, and hopefully next week I'll be able to actually participate in trials. Maybe we'll see, but let's see what happens when you actually discard one of these coins. Nothing. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you don't get any glimmer, you don't get anything at all. You can just discard them if you're getting too many in your inventory. So that's an interesting change. All right, moving on to weekly heroics. They fixed an issue with the weekly heroic strikes that not award engrams. Okay, moving on. Let's see. We already covered the ether chests. You can now you can dismantle these tokens of judgment and whatnot for apparently for reputation now. So let's see. Let me see which ones I actually have used already because I know I've already bought I've already bought. Okay, token of judgment are the ones that I can pretty much get rid of without any problems. Let's see what happens when we do this. We discard this and we get, oh cool, we got 10 reputation with House of Judgment, which is not a huge boost, but it's something. At least, you know, if you're getting a ton of those tokens, you can at least get a little bit of reputation there. But you can see the reputation ranks are so huge. For, you know, 3,000 reputation. That's not going to make a huge bit of difference, but you can at least get some reputation from those if you have a bunch of them filling up your inventory. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Moving on to quests. Petra will no longer display a quest waypoint for players who have not purchased the House of Wolves. And they fixed a bug in which players abandoning the Gone to Ground quest were still being directed to Venus Patrol. Let's see. Wanted fallen bounties each week. Now guaranteed drop a treasure key. Okay. And there are some one major weapon fix. They fixed a bug in which the 1.2.01 hotfix mistakenly did not contain the 1.1.1 fusion rifle balance changes, which I can definitely tell you I was noticing that in the Crucible. People were using fusion rifles again. They were cross-mapping with fusion rifles again and just basically being annoying with them. And it turns out that apparently when they bought the new patch in for House of Wolves, it reset fusion rifles to how they used to be back in the day when they were like snipers and you could just snipe people across the map with them. So good to see that they've actually gone back and fixed that, and now fusion rifles will be back to how they were supposed to be, which is great because they were getting really annoying again in the Crucible, so that's good. All right, items, token of flight identity, we went over that, can be dismantled for 10 House of Judgment. And now ammo consumables will be able to stack up to 100, so instead of only being able to have a stack of 20 of your ammo synth, these will now go up to 100. That will help alleviate the issue where everybody was opening up those ether chests and getting too much of the consumables, and it was filling up their inventory, and they weren't able to do anything about that. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for the quick hotfix patch notes. Again, that is for the new patch. Wow, let's see, 1.2.0.2. How many more numbers I can fit in there? Anyway, some definitely much needed changes, especially for the treasure key, the way that's working with Prison of Elders, because that was just a big pain in the butt, quite honestly. It's I'm going to do a separate video on this, but House of Wolves has really, in my opinion, opened up more of a divide between PvP and PvE in this game, because they made it so difficult to get rewards for Prison of Elders. Like, you can sit there, you can play on the 35 and grind Skolas for hours and hours and hours, and even when you do beat the 35 and the 34, like, if you don't have a key, you can't open the loot chest, number one. And number two, when you do open that loot chest, half the time you don't get anything good. Meanwhile, if you are lucky enough to get a good team for Trials of Osiris, you can bust through Trials of Osiris in an hour, go 9-0, even if you only get 7 or 8 wins. You're just swimming in loot with much, much, much less effort. You also get elemental primaries for a PvP reward, which is funny because you don't need elemental primaries in PvP. So PvP definitely got the better end of the deal with this DLC. And, you know, I was happy about that for the most part because, like I said, PvP does need a lot of love in this game if it wants to develop and they want to have a good PvP community. But it shouldn't be the replacement for PvE, and that's unfortunately what has happened because now, unless you really play Trials of Osiris, you're not going to have a great chance at getting all that good loot. Now, you play Trials of Osiris and you can get a decent team and get a couple of wins. You can get a ton of stuff really quickly with very minimal effort compared to what you have to go through for Prison of Elders. So Prison of Elders right now, or prior to this change with the keys, really just was not worth playing. It just wasn't. You know, it's the same. It gets pretty boring pretty quick, to be honest. And with the loot drops, it's just not exactly you know, amazing to play. But anyways, guys, that's about it. That's for another video for another time. Stay tuned. I'm going to have an Iron Banner video up here in just a little bit. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday, and I will see you again next time.